Joining us this morning, Titania Jordan.
Tatiana Jordan. Did I get the name right? Jordan?
Titania.
Titania. Okay. All right.
It's Titania Jordan.
Hi everybody, welcome to Connect. I am so excited to be here today with Matt and Chris of Vlipsy. I'm so excited, welcome.
Thank you, thanks for having us.
So tell everybody what Vlipsy is.
All right, so when we text with our friends and family, we rely on media like emojis and GIFs or GIFs, you hear them both, to better express our emotions and reactions to things. The problem with all of those forms of media is that they lack one important ingredient, sound. So, who wants to watch a TV on mute? That's basically what we're doing when we text with each other. Exactly. It's no fun, it's really boring. We fix that. So, Vlipsy is a video clip search engine. We're making video clips conversational. So we integrate directly into wherever you communicate on the internet. So you can type into Vlipsy what you're trying to say, and we return to emotions and reactions and moments from your favorite movies and TV shows, news clips, all the funny memes, and it's a better way to communicate. It says it for you.
It's great. I mean, I feel like our generation, especially growing up watching Happy Gilmore and old school, we speak in movie clips.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And there hasn't been a platform to support it. Yes, there's Giphy and you can get just a smidgen.
Yep.
And yes, emojis can do it.
Yep.
And memes are great, but like the fact that I can now text my friends, Kristen Wiig, like, I'm ready to party with the best of them. It's like, I can do that now thanks to Vlipsy.
Yes, yeah.
And that's where like the idea like originated, was like that's how we communicated to each other. We'd always say like those lines from those movies you mentioned, and so we tried like this really just a really not good way to do this was like find the video on YouTube. You could find the start point, and then so we had this like bookmarks library of YouTube videos with the start points, and we'd send them to each other on Skype, but they still didn't play like in line. So you had to click it and go to YouTube. Then it has like 10 minutes of video, and so it really wasn't the best experience. And so we've been sitting on this, and when the markets started adopting video in line, we're like, we should build this because it's a huge need.
Yeah. Show everybody your Fly logo.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Kind of covered up.
Okay.
There we go.
I love it.
That made me feel really cool.
You should. You should feel cool. Vlipsy's a cool name, right?
Yeah.
So many people name their things and you're like, no, why? But like, good job with the Vlipsy name.
Oh, appreciate it.
So full disclosure, I'm a mentor to Vlipsy through the Techstars Accelerator. Thank you, Cox. Thank you, Techstars, for having an Atlanta class. What made you guys choose to apply to be a part of Techstars?
Honestly, the pedigree and the network. So we've been at this for a long time. When I say this, I'm referring to the expression. So we were behind the scenes on emojis and on stickers and on GIFs and on avatars. We've been doing this for brands in the largest platforms in the world, where we would create content that would help consumers communicate. So we felt like we had a wrangle on the overall market and where we wanted to go. But when you look at the overall name of Techstars and what they represent and all of the companies that have been through and found success, look, this is our third startup. Startups are hard and they're difficult.
Preach.
And so to not like take advantage of something like Techstars that can really put you on the right track and kind of flip that 90% of 90% of startups typically fail. So it's really been great to just see how much support surrounds us, and it's been amazing. I mean, the big thing for us is we're wrapping up in about 2 weeks now. It's sad, but it's been really, really fun because I would say it's not just mentors and it's not just the network and the programming that they give, but it's also this family environment inside of Techstars. I mean, just like you're being surrounded by people with PhDs and people that are just some of the most brilliant coders and awesome at business, and there's experts in every single field, and we're all in this like mixing bowl of just awesome ideas, and everyone pushes each other. And so you get stuck on, if you're a coder, you get stuck on a bug, you can go ask a friend and they can help you be unstuck. And so now you're not pulling your hair out for 10 hours.
That's amazing. Yeah. And this isn't your first rodeo together. Y'all have known each other for what, 15 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Something like that.
We're kind of like best friends, I guess you could say.
Yeah, BFF.
Yeah. We kind of like do everything together. It feels like.
We finished each other's sentences with flips.
Yeah.
And talk about your skill sets. Where were you before Vlipsy?
Yeah, so before Vlipsy, dating all the way back, Matt taught me how to code in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the first language?
It was just like HTML4.
It was like HTML tables. And like Flash, and it was like not even Flash. It was like this weird version called Swift.
Yeah, we just made it back. We're bringing it back.
Yeah. So even our first experience was with working with a brand. Chris was in this like video game group for SOCOM or something.
Yeah.
And so their group was like the WWF clan. And so we made this website with all the characters, and we got a like cease and desist letter like with.
But it was signed by Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So I think
we
that's
were
like memorabilia.
It was pretty awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot early about brands and just IP, and it was kind of ironically the start to like our career and
it's
stuff.
invaluable.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then we went off to college, and we never had the intent of really like working our entire careers together. But as I was a contractor and Matt was a contractor, we were each bringing in our own projects, and I was always big on creative. So I was doing agency work for professional athletes and musicians and creating really interactive Flash websites that looked really good. But it would drive me nuts to have to update the data to them constantly, because I was doing it manual because I wasn't smart enough, like this dude, to be able to just like code it and have it do it for yourself.
Yeah,
so
automation.
I call Matt and he's like, "Oh, dude, that's so easy." And we kind of figured out between the two of us, it's like we were each really good at our own side of the spectrum, and we would get faster through this whole business world if we could combine our talents and just go. So. I think from the time I was 22, we've worked professionally together, and it's been like whatever his resume is, mine's going to be right there that matches the same term.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And so you guys know what it's like to be in the trenches, to code and iterate, and now you're transitioning to leadership roles. I mean, you're hiring and you're growing this company and you're raising a lot of money and you're going to scale. So talk about that shift. What is that like?
I'll tell you what, the biggest thing is it's humbling, and to us, it's very, very important that we hire people smarter than us.
Always.
And really, we've done well at that so far, and I think we're feeling the effects where we'll call each other late at night and be like, "Man, these guys are cranking stuff out and like moving so quick. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah,
this is amazing.
So it really is something where. It makes it real quick, but we've run and managed teams before, so that's nothing new. It's more dealing with it, raising money, and the fact that I was an engineer, that now I have investors, and you really do. You work for investors once once they trust you with their money, you're out there working for them. So that's been a shift for me to go from code and product is my priority, to really not working in the business, but working on the business.
Right, and being wise stewards of the resources you've been given. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
definitely is.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's really cool. But Matt gets to work in there and kind of see all the stuff growing, and I think it all starts with trust and having a foundation where Matt and I trust each other so well, and we work so well together. That I really believe that's infectious to the rest of the team.
It's awesome.
Yep.
So, what's your favorite Vlip, and what's your favorite Vlip?
You want to go first?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, I really love old school where Will Ferrell takes the dart to the neck, and
You're
you have what's his name? He's like, "Yes, that's awesome." Like I like that one a lot, and I don't know. There's so many. There's like so many good movie moments. That I don't know. It's really hard to pick.
That's
one.
a good one.
Yeah.
That is one of my
Yeah,
favorites as
I
well.
think
What
it's-
about you?
Mine is hopefully less obscure now because it recently was added to Netflix. But when I grew up, I was in love with the movie Heavyweights. In
Okay.
1995, it was about a fat camp. Ben Stiller was a crazy camp counselor. It was written by Judd Apatow.
Oh.
And it just, like, I think growing up as the chubby kid, and it was like funny, and it had the same actors from the movie The Mighty Ducks series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that it was, I think at a young age I could quote every single line in the movie. And so it's still there. Like, I can quote every line. So now being able to have Vlips to just go where you're talking about little obscure things where people that have known me quoting this, I mean, that's really the beauty of Vlipsy. I walk around speaking in quotes all the time. Like, how can I do that when I text with you? And so one of the things I always say is like, this pleases me. And it's like obscure, and people think that's my line, but now I can actually show them where it comes from.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. But it's those little obscure moments that we're after too.
Oh yeah, the one I use all the time is more like Boerville, you know. But
Yeah.
some people, they haven't seen the movie. They're like, "I'm sorry, what?"
what?
Yeah.
I'm like, you
Yeah.
had to be there. But now you can just watch the Vlipsy that I send you.
That's exactly right.
So for people who are kind of like, that sounds really cool, but wait, what do they do? We'll obviously have a link so that you can go to the website or download the app.
Yeah.
Download the app for
Yeah.
both iOS and Android.
Yes.
And what I did, I came on board very early. So what I did was I downloaded the Vlipsy keyboard
Yep.
to my iPhone and enabled it just like you can with a Giphy or a new emoji pack.
Yep.
So talk through at a very high level, like so that my grandma could understand, who's very smart, by the way. She's on Facebook, but you know what I mean. Like talk through like all the different ways that you can work with the Vlipsy and use Vlipsy as a consumer.
Yeah, so the first thing is our goal is to contextually tag video clips. So wherever you're texting, so she's on Facebook.
Yes.
Great. So the idea is getting, and this is not out yet, but getting an integration into Facebook Messenger.
Yes.
So when you're texting on there, you're tapping the Vlipsy button by your keyboard.
Uh-huh.
It's pulling up a search field, and now you're just going to type in, like literally, think of a movie quote, type it in, find the movie quote, and now it's just trimmed to that. So when Matt was saying our inspiration coming from YouTube was that it wasn't working, the biggest thing we were finding is you could find the quote on YouTube, but it'd be buried inside of a 4-minute video.
Yeah, or low quality,
Yep.
or
Yep.
you know what I mean.
Someone take a video with their
Video over the TV,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like,
Like,
oh,
what?
so
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. So our goal and our mission as a brand is to make sure that we're isolating just the right moments.
Mm-hmm.
And there's complexities around this. Like you wouldn't believe the thousandth of a second that you have to go into to make sure that when like I'm done talking before you would respond, that we cut it right there perfectly.
Yes.
And so we go into a lot of crafting detail to make sure these clips are prepped right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also make sure that we think about it contextually. So an example I like to say is, let's say you have road rage or you're stuck in traffic. You may not need to find a clip that's specific about traffic to say the move it. It may be someone at a crowded mall on Black Friday from a movie yelling move it, or like really has anxiety around needing to go quick.
Yeah.
So our goal is to take a clip and say, okay, what are all the ways that someone could search for this?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a team that goes through and makes sure that's there. And then we stare at data all day and make sure that we're, getting more refined.
Oh, it's so awesome. Two real life examples of kind of what you're talking about. One is just downstairs. I'm carting a bunch of stuff, book bags, makeup bags, 2 sets of heels, and this person's holding the door for me, but I'm literally a half mile away, it feels like, so then I'm like, gosh, they're holding the door for me, maybe I should start running. So I'm like running with all the stuff in heels, and by the time I get there, I'm like, so I'm searching on Twitter. Right now they have the GIF integration, and so I really couldn't find the exact thing I wanted, so I ended up on like something from, Jonah Hill, whatever. Now I'm rambling. Second example is, Cho, another mentor, great guy, cool guy,
Definitely
Hire Wire, etc. It's his birthday, so my first thing, it's like I don't even think about it anymore when it's somebody's birthday. I don't type happy birthday. I go to Giphy, click on the Facebook button, and post it from there. It just works, right? And so I posted a Giphy to his page, and he's like, yeah, it would have been cooler if you posted a Vlipsy. And I'm like, yeah, it would have, Joe. Thank you for calling me out on that. But anyway, I went and found a Vlip, and I was like, oh, you mean like this?
Yeah.
So anyway, mic drop. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. I love you. But yeah, so how does that work? Because I actually noticed that when I used to post Giphies, they would autoplay.
Yeah.
Now you have to click on them to make them play because Facebook's like to change things up.
Oh,
it's maddening.
They're always changing things. Like, I mean, we've worked with Facebook for years on different things, all the way back to their app days where there was Farmville and stuff like that. We did a lot of stuff, and they would constantly it changed like an API and your app would break. So, this is something we just have an eye on, where we're always looking at where our content is posted and trying to make it better, and easier for people, and get these integrations. And so right now, it's just something we have to look at. But right now we're on the keyboard, as you mentioned, and you can simply just go in the App Store and search for it. iOS 11, if you've upgraded, I know it's kind of scary. It makes it. Yeah, I know it's scary. Like when they release the next maybe couple fixes, it's super easy now. They've really improved the App Store, and so when you install it, there's not 10 steps to go through to get it in there. It's right in there. You can use it right where you text. We are releasing the iOS and Android app. The goal is to release those October 10th. We're just crossing our fingers with Apple approval right now, so we need a little bit of blessing there. But so that's, and then we're working on some other integrations. We want to be directly where your conversations are happening.
Yeah.
So hopefully, eventually, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all these places.
Kick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Which is also our former place of employment.
Yeah.
So important segue.
Yeah.
So we ran content at Kick. There we were in charge.
No big deal. It's just kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and Matt was really a mind largely around shaping how we advertise in this content, how sponsors can get involved with this content. One of the things that's really difficult with sponsors, or with any type of messaging environment, unless you're Facebook or Google that makes all your money elsewhere, is how you can monetize the messaging experience.
Yes.
What you're not going to do is you're texting with your friend and says, here's a banner ad, here's a pre-roll video ad, hey, before you send that message, why don't you watch this ad? What's going to happen? You're going to leave, you're going to go find another messenger app that doesn't do it, and your entire contact list is going to follow you. So everyone's leaving in droves. So for years, messenger apps have struggled with, how do we make money on this? And we've been around the block of saying, okay, we're going to sell sticker packs, which Apple does now, but we're talking 2012, we were doing that around all the different messenger apps. And that works really, really well in a place like Japan, where they rely on the media much more. I think the US consumer is much more focused on, how do I get the content for free? And if you don't give it to me for free, there's something called Google image search. And
I will find it.
Yeah, and I will find a way to make it happen, and then I'll put it on YouTube and teach everyone else how to do it. So we would always look at creative ways of saying, how can we find a win-win? Matt was superb in detailing out a plan of working with sponsors and with all of the third-party tracking and just everything that goes into making something run soup to nuts, of saying, hey, Pizza Hut, one of the top search terms here is hungry. And your brand could enter the conversation when someone types hungry. So not a pre-roll video ad. You're not going to YouTube and guessing that someone might be hungry and forcing them to watch your 30-second commercial before they get to the video they actually want to watch. 26% of computers have ad blockers installed on them. Consumers are speaking up. They can't stand the way the advertising is done right now.
Annoying.
So enter this genius who basically is saying, we type a search term, and hungry now presents Pizza Hut as one of the top choices. Now it's on us, as any good ad agency would do, to say, this is the type of content that will actually resonate with consumers. So if Terry Crews could bust through that wall
there's a green screen.
Yes, there we go. And grab a pizza off the table that's branded Pizza Hut, and that could represent hungry.
Yeah.
It.
Or even fat, who from Austin Powers is getting my belly. I use that one all the time, right? I don't care if it's branded by Pizza Hut. It's funny.
Yeah, exactly right. So the overall idea here and how we'll make money is to go for win-wins. There is a way to please consumers where they will not get upset with ads. But you always hear native advertising, and it's this term that no one's really defined because it varies by platform, and mostly it varies by what the consumer appetite is for this type of media.
Totally.
So we've actually have a ton of experience doing that. We've seen the ROI and the type of ad spend that will go into that, which is actually 25 times higher than the average cost of a CPM ad that goes on YouTube.
Holla.
Yeah.
So the 3 words that run through my head, y'all are laughing at me. The 3 words that run through my head whenever I think about you guys over and over is content is king.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it just is. It just is, and y'all are gonna win, and it's gonna be great. And I'm just honored to have had this time with you and this interview with you. In closing, 2 things. 1, this is the dress I wore on stage last year at Demo Day.
I know that.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
I've
I just
studied it.
yeah, so I just wanted to impart like some good vibes towards you because I know that's coming up and y'all are gonna kill it.
Thank you.
And then please let everybody know, because we want to help you. What can we do? What do you need?
Yeah.
How can we help? Ready, go.
All right. So first thing for me is this is something that is a consumer-driven application. So as Matt said, we're aiming to release on October 10th for the iPhone Android app. We're also doing integrations direct into where you chat. So if you're on a Messenger app, the goal is to get it right there for you. I think download and use it. And on the bottom of our site, find a way. There's a contact link. Get in touch with us. We do study what you're searching. If you aren't finding what's out there, we're building our team to make sure that we're creating better and better content. But this is something everyone can get value out of.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what generation we're talking about. It's beautiful to build a consumer product that literally when someone says, what's your core demographic? You say, movies have been around forever.
Everyone.
What are your core interests in a movie? And so it is something for everyone. Download it, use it, give us feedback. We listen as part of a startup, especially a startup focused on consumer growth. We listen to the people more than most companies do, because we have to dig in and make sure that it's as awesome as it can be. But we're hyped about this. We're stoked. It's a really, really fun app.
Yeah, I think one thing too, as you said, content's king. If you search and you can't find it, you can create your own. You can go to Vlipsy.com. There's a create your own button at the top. It's as simple as pasting the YouTube link in there. You trim it down, save it out. We can't cover all content, so everyone has a good different taste, and we'd love to have people's input into the library and have them creating content and sharing it with their friends. I think that's one of the biggest things for us.
It's awesome. You guys are gonna blow up. This is so exciting. Everybody rally around Vlipsy and help. And I'll close with a really great movie quote. Just always be closing.
That's right.
I love that.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being on Connect.
Thank you so much for
having
having
us. We say it at the same time.